will say he's done something that goes beyond the pale. He will shake his head and give this answer without fail. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he says he tells no lies and that he never jokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. A modern Don Quixote, he hates the windmills, claiming to protect the birds and whales he says they kill. But don't believe that story, it's really just a shill. He just did not want to see them wild golfing on Scottish hills. A hoax, he said it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, changing a storm path with black marker strokes. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. Casting mail-in ballots is something that he's done. Now he wants to ban them for each and every one. He claims it's for integrity in each election, but he won't believe the results unless it's him that's won. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, they'll fool you with distractions like real sugar in Cokes. Confronting with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax. He promised to release all the Epstein files that caused all the MAGA base to react with smiles. But how long has he put it off? It sure has been a while, and now he's calling this a hoax, protecting pedophiles. A hoax, he says it's all a hoax. When at a press conference or with misspelled keystrokes, he'll keep on gaslighting up until he croaks. Confronted with the truth, he'll say it's all a hoax.
Obama and Bush's pictures got hidden, obscuring the past, history rewritten. Hung in a hallway where no tour can see, confirming his unending fragility. If Trump can't see it, you must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. Object permanent, a milestone missed. If Trump can't see it, he must not exist. Stop the testing was the line that he said. Hundreds of thousands needlessly dead. Now HHS is run by brainworm quack, hiding the truth behind his back. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. An administration run by narcissists. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Boxes of documents stacked floor to the wall. Top secret folders in a bathroom stall. Charges were pressed, but the case was dropped. A corrupt judicial system he can co-opt. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. That also includes the Epstein list. He'll swear it's fake news, a liberal twist. If Trump can't see it, it must not exist. Campus downtown, tents lining the street. Invisible people that power won't beat. Hide them away so the cameras can't find the proof of a system that's cold and unkind. A chaotic secret, an NDA sign, an illegal bribe. Michael Cohen fine. Trump got fined too over his gag order, but she didn't gag 'cause he was much shorter. It must not exist. this that also includes the Epstein list. We can't let him win, we must resist. If Trump can't see it, he must not exist. Proclaimed king, a groper in chief, stealing our country, a crooked orange thief. Faux patriots who are poorly educated, wearing red hats and also unvaccinated. Liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite, liberal Dan radio, talk from the left, that's right. A failing media that's barely treading water, they're too inept to fight this new world order. Corporate pigs are at the trough, hear the squeals. The swine won't bite the hands that feeds them meals. But liberal Dan will see us flow. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite, liberal Dan radio, talk from the left, that's right. A leftist voice on air, exposing MAGA treason, breaking through their lies with facts, logic, and reason, unmasking hypocrisy. The truth will be our guide. Call out their lies, justice is on our side. 'Cause liberal Dan will see us through. It's the best show that you're not listening to. So when you hear the call, animals unite, liberal Dan radio, talk from the left, that's right. Liberal Dan radio, talk from the left, that's right.
And welcome to Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. This is your host, Dan Zimmerman, coming at you live from New Orleans, Louisiana. Shout out to all the sparklers who are joining us via the House Sparklers raid over on Twitch. Thank you so much. Everybody, thank you for joining us on YouTube as well. Appreciate every one of y'all. Thank you for the follow, Cyber Knight. We've got a bunch of people in the chat. Sweet Mel, CSL, Sarah, let's see who else, Cosmic Rose, Pizza Dude. I haven't missed anybody else, at least who's chatted. Thank you all so much over there and over in the YouTube chat so far. We got Jackie, Molly, Aaron, Alton Gillespie, Tim, Steve from across the pond.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
Got John Palmer. Who else am I missing? If I have Mad Mac, good to see you, Mad Mac. Suzanne. Oh, I just scrolled back up again. So, Trucker John is in the chat. Good to see you, Trucker John. Thank you for joining. Penny to Create. Bobble Blank. If I'm missing anybody, I apologize. This chat just scrolled up on me or whatever. Cyber, thank you so much for thanking me for the work that I'm doing. I'm giving it a shot. We're gonna fight through it. even though, we're still don't have any solid leads on a new job yet. But I think I figured out, just to everybody who might be rating and might not know, it was announced that the law firm that I work for, I do software development, IT work for, is dissolving because they couldn't figure out whatever. So I think I have about 60 days, give or take a few, maybe a week or two or whatever, depending on how they interpret the WARN Act. We will see. But I have that much time probably to find a new job, unless for some reason Liberal Dan Radio becomes so profitable that it can be a full-time career. But we're not holding our breaths for that. We're going to continue looking for another software development job. But thank you all for joining. Wow, it was like a 90-something person raid, and then it dropped all the way down to 29. So thank y'all. Thank all of y'all who stayed for the music introduction. I usually play a couple more songs, and I usually start a little later with the playing of the songs, but I saw Hal was wrapping up, and I was like, let me start the music early just in case Hal wants to raid, and Hal raided. So, again, shouts out to Hal Sparks for all the wonderful things he's done for my show and enabling me to have the audience of many sparklers that I do have joining me each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday here at liberaldanradio.com or twitch.liberaldanradio.com for more talk from the left. That's right. We will get started soon. Hey, Hoosier Scott, good to see you. Let's see, did I miss it? Jolie is also in the chat. Good to see you. The other half of the best mod squad on the planet. So we've got lots of stuff to talk about today. Impeccable Living had reminded me of something I did want to talk about, which is good, in one of the comments on YouTube. Many of my clips are available up on YouTube, the shorter versions of the show or whatever. If you haven't subscribed to me on YouTube yet, please subscribe to me on YouTube. Share videos, comment, like, etc. Interact with other people. We have to help the algorithm because Al Gore needs more rhythm, right? And if you do want a shirt that says Al Gore needs more rhythm, or a t-shirt that says FDT, or even a teacup for the FDT that you might have, I did create a new cup specifically for Fancy, and I'm posting that in both chats at this point, but that's the link to the Liberal Dan Radio store, regardless of what you might want to get. So there's many different ways to support the show. Obviously, again, liking, commenting, sharing on the YouTube videos helps the algorithm out. You could also gift subs over on Twitch, buy subs for yourself, bits, super chat, super stickers, and memberships over on YouTube. There's the Venmo, Liberal Dan on Venmo, patreon.com/liberaldan or patreon.liberaldan.com. Either way gets you there. But again, helping the algorithm is the most important thing you can do. It'll be the strongest thing you can do. It's so strong. We haven't seen anything quite as strong, like you've never seen. Sorry, had to go into that because Donald Trump was talking about something else today or whatever, and again as soon as I started being like it's so strong, he started in with it's strong. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, he's so fucking predictable with his childlike way of everything has to be strong. It has to be strong. It can't be weak, but strong in his eyes, whatever. Mad Mac, no worries. I've been called a Nazi before too. Why what? Wait, what did that come from? I did see the new Fancy video, Michael. That was hilarious. Anyway, so let's talk about some stuff today. One of the things I was thinking about and is when you talk to MAGA folks about issues like trans rights, whatever, they seem to have a very big problem. They will refuse to call somebody by their new name. They will refuse to call somebody by their new name, if they happen to be a trans person, and they will actively dead name that person, and they'll also misgender the person, use the wrong pronouns, etc. But we all know, though, that MAGA types, conservatives, etc., they know how to not dead name something or someone or something, because MAGA will refuse to dead name the Gulf of Mexico. They have seamlessly shifted from calling it the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. They are referring to that body of water by the new name. So if you are capable of referring to a body of water by a new name, you're capable of talking and referring to somebody by the name that they've chosen as well, and not the name that they were given at birth. Basically, It just shows that they have more respect for a thing over a person, which just goes to show how deplorable they are. Pam Matthews says, the only time they won't dead name a trans person is when they want something from them. And that perfectly goes right into the next topic that I wanted to talk about, was the difference between the left and the right. And in many examples, and I welcome examples in the chat, please give me more examples, because I was thinking of a few. Come up with some more and we could talk about those as well. Either chat. But the main reason that the left and the right are the different is altruism. The left will do things because it helps other people or it doesn't harm other people. The right will only do things if it helps themselves, or if it's not going to harm them, or if they've already been harmed and they haven't seen the harm that something could cause prior to them getting harmed. For example, during the pandemic, people were told to wear masks because not only would masks protect the wearer, but masks would also protect other people around them. Well, conservatives don't give a rat's ass about the people around them. They had, big events and hanging out at bars and going places unmasked, spreading the plague all over the place. A bunch of plague rats, as I often called them, until Facebook decided that they didn't like that and would start, suspending your account if you referred to people as animals, even though whenever a conservative called us sheep for wearing masks, nothing would happen. Go figure. But now, when it comes to protecting themselves, ICE agents are completely masking up. Now, they're not wearing a protective mask that's going to stop the virus from going in and out, but they are going to wear a mask to protect themselves, at least protect themselves from potential prosecution, so people might not be able to look at somebody and say, oh, that's who this person is, and they've done deplorable things, and they should pay for the deplorable things that they've done. The left, well before Dobbs v. Jackson, overturned Roe v. Wade, overturned Casey versus Planned Parenthood, well before that, the left knew that any changes that the right were able to make for abortion laws would, be problematic and be harmful. And when they were trying to pass these draconian abortion laws, these bans that prevents abortions in almost all cases in writing as the laws are written, and in all cases in practice, or like 99.999% of all cases or whatever. But we discussed a woman on the show last week, I think it was, and it was a Christian conservative woman who voted for Republicans, who voted pro-life, who voted for all of this stuff, not realizing that the laws in her state were going to suck once these conservatives passed these draconian abortion laws. And then her life became in danger. She had a toxic fetus or whatever. There was miscarrying. She was going to die if something didn't happen, because you don't want to have sepsis take place. When she went to the doctor not only told her, we can't do anything, go have a miscarriage at home, we can't treat you if there's a detectable heartbeat, regardless of the fact that the fetus was not going to last, it was non-viable. And now, all of a sudden, magically, this Christian conservative woman and her husband are like, oh, government shouldn't involve itself in these decisions, it should only be between the doctor and the family. So once it threatened her, she now has an issue with these laws, but these are the laws that she voted for. But before it happened to her, did she ever speak out for, like, Kate Cox from Texas? I doubt it. She probably was like, oh, Kate Cox is probably just trying to abuse the law, just like all the other MAGA conservatives were. When Kate Cox was trying to get her abortion, and the AG of Texas was basically telling the hospitals, if you do it, you're going to lose your license, you're going to get sued, people are going to get arrested, etc. And then she had to go to another state to be able to save her own damn life before the pregnancy became toxic. But conservatives need for it to happen to themselves in order for them to get angry, in order for them to get upset, or whatever. So, thank you, Ali Osher, for the 14 bits. Appreciate you. Trump wanted to kill the Affordable Care Act. Remember when John McCain left the hospital, showed up for the Senate vote, and voted no? When everybody thought the Affordable Care Act was going to die? Well, McCain got up there and saved it, because he realized. Again, what did he realize? He realized that the Affordable Care Act helped save him. So he went to go vote for it to save it. Now, Donald Trump urged the House of Representatives to extend the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act for 3 years. Why? Not because he wants to help the people who are aided by the Affordable Care Act, but because he will be harmed politically. He feels that he will lose Congress and as such have a much harder time passing his agenda if the Affordable Care Act subsidies go away and all of a sudden magically, these people realize, oh, the Affordable Care Act actually helped us and Trump's changes have now harmed us, so now we're going to be upset, we're going to be mad, and we're going to reject Trump. And what Trump wants, which is a Republican House and a Republican Senate. So again, it's another example of conservatives caring about themselves only, but not about anybody else. And only when something happens to them will they actually give a shit about policy. Same thing with everything going on when it comes to the immigration and ICE and etc. They don't give a rat's ass about Renee Good. They think that she was a terrorist. They think that she was planning on driving over, that she specifically showed up there. In fact, this administration is saying now that it's the official line from ICE and Department of Homeland Security, etc. It's the official policy of them. They're now saying that Renee Good went there specifically to run cops over, to run ICE enforcement agents over, which is a load of crap. There's no evidence of that. Prove that. You can't, because it's you're full of shit. They're not going to do that. But when law enforcement killed one of their own, Ashley Babbitt, aka terrorist Barbie, guess what? They cried, they bitched, they moaned, etc. Why? Because it was one of them who got injured, hurt. It was one of them. They care about, they'll say all lives matter or blue lives matter when it comes to black people being killed by the police. And they will be like, oh, well, all lives matter, or blue lives should matter too. But do blue lives only matter taking black lives? Blue lives don't matter to conservatives when those same blue lives are trying, then there's no such thing as a blue life. Being a police officer is a choice. Being black is not a choice. Anyway, let's continue. These blue lives, supposedly, were trying to stop the people from invading the Capitol and stopping the attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. And they don't care about blue lives there because the blue lives were going after their own people. But when the blue lives are going after other people, when law enforcement goes after black people and kills them at a disproportionate rate, when ICE goes after these people who are here legally, not just the people who are here who are undocumented, the people who are here in violation of our border policies, and potentially the actual bad hombres that Trump promised to go after, but he's not going after them. These ICE enforcement agents will go after anybody else, and they don't care. They have but as soon as it will happen to one of them, they will magically start caring. Again, because the main difference between being on the left and being on the right is altruism. The people on the left worry about what happens to people around them. What they worry about happens to people who are unlike them. They argue and fight for the people who, are less likely to be able to fight for themselves. On the right, they only fight for themselves, be it individually or as their insular group. Anybody else can go fuck themselves, according to what MAGA says. So, exactly, Pam, transactional thinking, which is why they elected a transactional president, because he acts exactly like they do. He only does things that benefit him. He will never do things that benefit anybody else. If the things that he does happen to benefit the folks in MAGA, so be it. But he only cares about, helping himself. Now, and they like that. It's the same reason why back in the day you had the conservatives in the South during the Civil War, because the people that supported slavery in the South during the Civil War, when the states seceded from the Union, those were the conservatives back then, right? And the people who were, they didn't give a shit about, the how black people were enslaved. They didn't care about that at all. What did they care about? They cared about the idea that maybe one day they might be in such a position where they would be able to actually, own a slave themselves, to enslave someone themselves. And they wanted to be able to fight for the right of that to happen, even though it was never going to happen. Never, not one bit. So, Pam Matthews, I consider myself an opportunistic altruist. I mean, I like to think of myself as an altruist regardless, but, generally speaking, I'm an altruist. Now, there may very well be bad things that happen to particular people, or I'm not going to give a shit about. If the blood clots and, finally, hit home, I'm not going to cry one bit. But that's because it's nature taking care of the harm that Trump might do over the course of, the rest of his term, whatever he survives, right? Let's see. Pam also says, one of my coworkers was miserable during our shutdown in New Mexico, so she drove down to El Paso so she could get her drink on and bump uglies with strangers. She was the first one on my work team to contract COVID. Not shocked. Not shocked at all. There was a swingers convention here in the city of New Orleans. I think it takes place every year, and maybe we might talk about more specifics about that on Liberal Dan Radio when we actually launch the Liberal Dan Radio After Dark. It's coming, I promise, I swear. I wasn't expecting to be able to have a job hunt right now. If I wasn't having to worry about hunting for a new job, I might have started the Liberal Dan Radio After Dark already, but now, as of last week, I have to look for a job. But so they held this in like 2021. I think they even held it in 2020, like when COVID was surging. They held the swingers convention in New Orleans. And they were able to trace many, many cases from that convention back. Now, I don't know what other cases of other transmissible diseases or infections they might have caused during the course of the 3 or 4 days or whatever, however long that they're here. But, still, those are the people who don't give a crap about anybody else. They only care about themselves. I mean, what it is. Thank you, Donald. Can you imagine being in that sort of lifestyle, though? Can you imagine, because one would have to think that if you're involving multiple people in your sex life, right? I'm trying not to get too graphic because, again, we're not on the After Dark part. If you involve multiple people in your sex life, and one of the most important things I would think would be consent, right? Like you would want to make sure that the people you are involving in your whatever is, you would want to make sure that those people understand and respect consent. But these people, who are probably also MAGA, the people who came to the convention are probably also MAGA, who voted for the hoo-ha grabber-in-chief. So if you're going to vote for somebody who will violate the consent of other people, then why would anybody believe that you would respect the consent of anybody else, right? Make sense? And if you would willingly participate in activities where you could knowingly help and aid the spread of COVID, why would I think if I was going to be part of that group or whatever, why would I think that those people would care about whether or not